In the heart of the Netherlands, a woman was on a mission to uncover the chilling truth about her family's past. Her mind raced with questions as she reached out to the top clinical geneticists at the university hospital for help. Her male relatives, including her son and brothers, had a disturbing tendency towards aggression, including attempted rape and assault. The woman's granduncle had even traced the disorder back several generations and identified 9 other males with similar issues. With all these concerning details, the woman was left wondering, is there a genetic component running in her family? Is it possible that some of our behaviors are inherited genetically and we can pinpoint the specific genes responsible for certain traits like aggression? Researchers have been trying to understand the complex relationship between genetics and behavior for over a century. Dr. Cesare Lombroso, the father of scientific criminology, studied criminals in prison in Turin, Italy. He believed that criminals were less evolved than the rest of the society and could be identified by their physical features such as large ears and ape-like arms. However, his findings were discredited, leading researchers to look for differences in the brains of the criminals, specifically murderers. British neuroscientist Adrian Raine carried out the first brain scanning study on murderers in California. The results showed that these individuals had similar brain changes that make them more susceptible to rage and less capable of controlling themselves. Specifically, their brain exhibited reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for regulating emotional impulses. Additionally, their amygdala, the part of the brain that governs our emotions, was overactive. Raine's research also suggested that physical brain damage resulting from childhood abuse could be a contributing factor. However, the fact that not all individuals who experience traumatic childhoods become murderers raised the question of what are the other factors at play. Perhaps it's in our genes. Could it be possible that specific genes make us more susceptible to criminal behavior? Remember that woman we were talking about earlier? Dr. Han Bronner and his team of geneticists dug deep into her family history and uncovered something fascinating 15 years after the woman's first office visit. They came across a genetic defect on the X chromosome of some men in the family that could have impaired an enzyme that regulates aggressive behavior. This groundbreaking finding links a specific gene known as MAOA gene to aggression, which has been a topic of controversy. It suggested those who lack the MAOA gene or have the low activity variant are predisposed to violence. Since then, additional genes have been identified and connected to aggression. The group of genes that were linked to aggressive behavior are referred to as warrior genes. However, the story doesn't end there. A later study found that not all individuals with low MAOA activity were prone to violence. Instead, only those who had experienced childhood mistreatment were at risk. This was a significant milestone in showing how a person's upbringing and experiences can impact their genes. Criminal defendants started to use the knowledge about warrior genes to their advantage. They argued that their actions weren't just their own bad choices, but were results of their genes and upbringing. In some cases, this strategy has worked, resulting in a conviction for a lesser crime or even saving a person from death penalty. In a high-profile case in Santa Fe, New Mexico, 31-year-old Anthony Yepes was found guilty of second-degree murder, evidence tampering, and auto theft after brutally beating a 75-year-old man to death. However, during a neuropsychological evaluation, experts discovered that Yepes had a genetic condition that we were talking about. Despite the testimony from his experts, the court refused to accept this as a defense and Yepes' appeal was ultimately rejected. The original study on MAOA was conducted before the first human genome sequencing, and scientists could only focus on a few genes at a time. Nowadays, the idea of linking a single gene to complex behavior traits is considered to be ineffective. Thousands of tiny gene variants collectively influence our actions and personalities, and they all play a role in shaping who we are. Nowadays, the preferred method is the polygenic risk score, which calculates the combined impact of individual gene variants in accounting for the differences in behavior among individuals. Additionally, it's challenging to measure aggression and maltreatment in childhood because there are so many different ways to define and measure them. This can lead to inconsistencies and increase the chances of finding false connections. In conclusion, there is complex interplay between genetics and environmental factors in shaping behavior. The concept of warrior genes has been extensively debated in scientific community. As a result, the use of warrior genes defense in court has not been widely accepted or supported by the scientific community. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.